I'm really glad I'm not Achan, I really am, because after seeing this episode and seeing what his training is going to be like, it makes me just pray for his well-being, because, I mean, in this episode, what we get to see is that he has to run back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then he has to wait around for 20 seconds, which makes it worse, because if you're already breathing hard and you wait for 20 seconds and you have to start doing that same thing again, back and forth, your body is going to wear out. And that right there really just scares me, because I see the potential and why this is being done, but at the exact same time, the hell Achan is going to have to go through to pass this training is going to be immense. With this training, Achan is literally pushing his body to the limit, the absolute limit. I mean, right now, he is trying to train his body to tennis. He's literally doing everything he possibly can to train his body specifically for tennis, and I see why they're doing it. Why, the coach is currently doing this is to train Achan's stamina. For instance, as he goes back and forth on the court, it causes it to where he will not get tired out so easy when he's going for a ball, because we see a glimpse of this when Achan fights Ike in this episode. For instance, when you see him trying to go after the ball, he goes the wrong direction and he can't make it to the other side in time because he doesn't have the stamina. So clearly in this entire training that Achan has, he's going to learn how to be able to go back and forth to strike a ball on the other end of the court real quickly, and at the exact same time he's going to learn how to put more power behind his racket. And so I'm looking forward to seeing how much progression Achan really has. Because after 1 week of Achan training, he literally is at that point to where he can't move, he's falling asleep, he's having an inception type dream. I mean, he's thinking he's in school, like he wakes up in the middle of school and he looks at his paper and he realizes he has no answers, but he wakes up again and he's laying in his bed. I mean, he had inception. And so clearly Achan is so freaking exhausted, he's at his limit, and of course his character is going to overcome this. He is going to overcome this, it's obvious, since he is the main male character and this is a tennis anime or manga, whatever you're doing when you watch this or read this. But still, the point of it is that he will overcome this. But I mean, I'm curious of how much progression he really will have, because I mean, Achan, at the very least, that's what I've said multiple times, he has, very realistic progression. And so 2 months of doing this type of training, it makes me wonder how far will he really go. And the other question is, supposedly he has an entire year until the match comes up, the match he has to play in the All Juniors, if I'm correct. And so if he only has 2 months to train, if he can make it for 2 months through this training, he has like another 10 months to just fuck around. So right there, Achan has like 10 months to mess around with. What is he going to do in those remaining months that he's not doing this hellicious training? I mean, that's the big question I have right now. But either way, I love this episode for what it did. It set up a lot of things to come. It shows us a glimpse of what we should expect from pro players. For instance, like Ike, and we get to see a little bit of someone that is like Achan. Like, there's a dude that's like completely like Achan. He's like a second or third seeded player in the All Juniors, if I'm correct. And he's actually typing all his notes on a freaking laptop. So he's like the high-tech version of Achan, which is very entertaining, because now we know that there's another person just like him, and in turn, this dude that, Achan witnessed this episode, he might be the strongest opponent he has to face, because he makes the enemy have errors. For instance, he purposely sets the other opponent up to have errors when they knock the ball back, because that's what we clearly saw in this episode. So I'm scared to see this dude fight Takuma, because, I mean, it definitely would be a crazy freaking fight. And maybe that's why Achan kind of annoys Takuma a little bit, because, Achan reminds him of that dude right there. But overall, the episode is very good, and I will have to bring up the animation real quick. There was a couple of animation derps with Achan's face this episode. I saw it a little bit through the episode, and Baby Steps, as we know by now, if you've stuck around this long, doesn't have the best animation imaginable. Let's be straight honest. If you're comparing it on an animation basis compared to Haikyuu and this, Haikyuu's definitely going to win. But, I mean, personally, you can't judge an entire anime off of animation, so I can look past the animation derps because it really doesn't distract the overall enjoyment from the episode, but I will mention those. Now, I feel like the episode brings up a lot of things. I'm interested to see next week's episode because it's definitely going to be fucking good, and I wonder if, Achan is going to be able to win the All Juniors, because if he doesn't win the All Juniors, he will not be able to go pro. So we'll have to see. Everybody, tell me your thoughts about this episode of Baby Steps. I mean, did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? What was your favorite moments about it? I love all of you so much. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.